join later. So I welcome all of the participants who are in this webinar. And this webinar is basically about the e-payment system and e-PAX. And approximately 77% of the railway revenue in the last year has come through this e-payment system. And it is our continuous effort to request more and more customers to join in this this system, because it is a seamless payment system and cashless payment system also. So but there are sometimes many issues raised by the users, and for that this webinar is there. Now I request Sanjay to make a presentation, and then we will address the questions and answers later on. Sanjay?
Yes, sir, I'm here. So should I start?
Yes, we should.
Thank you very much, sir, for introducing, and good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to today's webinar. I am Sanjay Kumar, and I have been associated with these modules for quite a long time. So as sir has briefed, I am going to take you through the e-payment and e-PAX modules. Both of these are integral part of TMS application and deal with a commercial aspect. I hope most of the participants here are familiar and well aware about these two modules. So let me take you way back in 2004 or so, when there used to be only traditional modes for payment of freight amount. Modes of payment. Customers earlier used to have only two types of payment modes. One through money receipt, like check, DD or cash. Another through lump sum account, in which the customer has to keep in advance, just like a prepaid account. Of course, these traditional payment methods are still operational. These do have their own shortcomings. So, brief you these shortcomings also. So, physical presence of the customer or his representative at loading station to make the payment. And secondly, now because as a rule, payment report is done round the clock, even at odd hours in remote areas. The associated risk and botherations are always there for making the payment. Moreover, in case of lump sum account, customer has to maintain a minimum balance without getting any interest on the same. And customer has to deploy extra manpower, which also adds to the cost, who would go and make the payment in person. Railway also end up doing unnecessary accounting and credit arrangements for collection of huge deposits. Railway is required to deposit checks in bank, and after that track and trace of deposited instruments and maintaining entries for bank reconciliation, etc. All these botherations were there. Bank holidays and strikes, odd hours also delay the realization of payment of checks. Additional draft charges for making the draft also add to the cost of the payment for customers. Freight amount gets credited into railways account after days, which results in the loss of interest amount for those processing days basically. These are the shortcomings are overcome by the introduction of e-payment. So e-payment, as the name, it is an electronic and instant transfer of money by debiting customer's account and crediting railways account while keeping various security features in place over the internet. So as e-payment came into existence, the following are the benefits from customer point of view. It is a hassle-free payment for checks and very less paperwork is required. The customer is no more required to come to the loading station physically for making the payment. And in the tripartite agreement, customer authorizes the and the bank to debit the amount from his dedicated account for this purpose. So there is no separate authorization required every time. So as it is a dedicated server-to-server based communication, this enables an instant confirmation of payment within seconds. Customer can operate from various locations over IR and make payments centrally from his single account. E-payment is a 24/7 system available round the clock. So operating during odd hours is no more a payment process is completely transparent. A debit in account, like in case of lump, payment at dispatch time, and it is cost effective also, as less staff deployment is required at customers end also. So now these are the few of the benefits from railway point of view. Get an instant receipt of freight at the loading point irrespective of source and destination. And railway collected around 94,000 crore through e-payment in the year 1920. There is no loss of interest that used to happen due to delay in realization of checks, drafts, etc. Those physical instruments. The result, e-payment has saved 23 crore as interest, which used to be a loss due to the in realization of physical instruments. Saving of manpower, which can now be deployed in various other departments. So there is no more handling of checks, drafts, cash, etc. at loading point and other departmental correspondence. Now, following are the steps to explain the prerequisites which is to be adhered when a bank wants to enter into e-payment system and wants to get integrated with railways for collection of freight amount. So these are the steps. Firstly, after getting required approval from Railway Board, bank approaches FOIS for integration. Round of technical discussion are held with bank officials and their technical team for giving them the know about the application. Thereafter, bank designs integration APIs and provides to FOIS for integration. Integrates the API with the e-payment module and starts testing. On completion of successful testing, FOIS issues a confirmation based on which banks can approach the zonal railway authority with the customer for signing tripartite agreement and doing other formalities. Now presently, following are the banks which are integrated with the e-payment system. India, Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, Bank of India, IDBI, ICICI. These 7 banks are there which presently integrated with e-payment and are transacting with customers. So this is a technical overview of payment architecture. The transaction request for collection is initiated from the Visual Basic client located at the goods shed through voice and area network, wide area network. It comes to the Tuxedo server where the business logic resides here in Tuxedo, and going through the firewall and along all vital parameters of the customer like debit, credit details, the request gets to WebLogic application server and to web server. From there, it goes to the public server. Now, after getting access the bank servers, it comes back confirmation to the about status of the transaction, whether it is a failure, read on the user terminal. This screen shows the diagram of ERR generation. As mentioned earlier, the for collection is initiated from a terminal. After that, system validates the customer. If valid, then relevant message is shown and sent to the user. Collection gets and the request is sent to the bank if customer is valid. In response from the bank, if the e-payment is confirmed, a successful message is sent to the customer and RR is printed. But if the response is unsuccessful, then an ERR is generated on the basis of LCBG, and a list of such pending transactions which didn't get successful in the first attempt. A list is maintained in the system from which each transaction is sent to the bank at every hour for actual collection till the time it gets successful. However, system prompts the user to change the payment mode if the BG limit has exceeded or crossed. So whenever a transaction gets successful from the pending list, the BG gets replenished by the system. So whenever the transaction gets successful pending list, the successful message user accordingly and screenshot steps from RR section of freight process. In generation of RR in from this screen only, and the payment mode as payment, as you can see here. After RR comes into accrual status. So before sending the details to the bank for collection, all the details related to the freight, breakup, all these things shown in this screen. After the user presses save collection, a pop-up screen comes up and an amount is shown with GST, because otherwise in the screen the GST is not shown. This is the that is net payable amount, as you can see. This is the amount which will get from the customer's account and get credited into railways account. This is the net payable amount. after successful collection of the payment transaction, an e-payment advice where all the details regarding customer and the payment are given, and it can be handed over to the customer. So these are the few agreed upon message voice server gets the bank server depending upon the status of the. So these are quite self-explanatory, as you can see here. Any message other than these four are from bank. If any message other than these from the bank server, that is treated as insufficient fund case. This is something agreed upon initially itself. So following are the few key points one should keep in mind while dealing with the e-payment system. First, that customer should get himself registered for e-payment facility by signing tripartite agreement and other documents. Secondly, customer can be consignor, consignee, or both, and can transact according for he is authorized for. Customer can transact for only those origin and destination pair of stations for which he is authorized by the railway. Payment validity dates can never exceed LCBG dates, because if validity date has expired for a customer and BG validity date, then it is up to the discretion of the railway, zonal railway, to extend e-payment validity up to the BG validity date, so that his work should not suffer and he can make the transaction till the time he has got the BG validity. So this is also called as the temporary extension. So freight collection is always done at source station, nothing to destination. And in case of version, when there is a difference of amount in super sessional RR, charges can be paid through same e-payment account as it was paid through at the origin station. Now, these are security measures which are taken into account while dealing with this e-payment system to make secure. So that communication between CRIS server and bank server is based on HTTPS protocol. Then encryption decryption algorithm is in place to ensure message confidentiality. Multi-stage authenticity validation, LCBG, and amount validation, double debit validation, like if a transaction is already successful at bank server and FOIS again initiates it to any non-confirmation in previous attempt, then bank sends back full message without debiting the customer again. This is what is called validation basically. And another point I have not mentioned here is that keep upgrading the security of e-payment application. Trends. We have implemented TLS. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security, which is a kind of cryptographic protocol used to increase security over computer networks. Basically, TLS is the successor of SSL. Now, these are the reconciliation. These two reconciliation are the reports which we from bank server on day basis. The first one is that we get the report we get is total transaction that has happened as on yesterday, and the another is that amount credited in account as on yesterday. So based on these reports, we populate and some few of the reports published in FOIS website, because we also keep records in our database also, and whatever we get from the bank that kept in FOIS database, so that reconciliation can be done, and if any discrepancy is found, that can be dealt accordingly. These are the queries that are available in FOIS website. You can see e-payment menu, and these are queries which are available under e-payment to this e-payment system. This is one of the queries short, wherein in the first table records are being shown according to the information available in FOIS. Second screen records are being shown. The information we get from the bank on daily basis, as I've told you earlier. So the records in both the tables should match. It should be equal number of records in both the tables. For a particular, these are the filters for particular dates and for a zone, whatever the user can customize. So now another important part is this is actually the process of attempt for collection of freight amount through e-payment. I have mentioned earlier that failed transactions are sent to bank from pending list at an early interval. But if the customer has paid through other payment mode, then the collection has to be reported in the FOIS system, and e-payment transaction has to be reported to go to bank any further in order to avoid double payment by the customer. So this facility for discontinuation of attempt is available in FOIS TMS application for specific FOIS users with the role as zonal admin only. Presently, this facility is available under administration menu. You can see here for the zonal admin user only as suspended ERRs, where by logging in with the user ID and role, the zonal user can suspend the collection request for the ERR for further processing, and outstanding amount of the said ERR can be updated in the application. That is whatever payment mode from which payment mode the customer has paid the money, by check or by DD. So here the screen. So on clicking this suspended ERR, the user gets this screen. This is the screenshot of that set facility, continuation facility, wherein the user can report the collection through other mode, and e-payment transaction will get suspended. Here he has to fill all the other details and click on save from the menu. As he'll save the after filling this details, save the form, the transaction which is presently going to the bank through e-payment, that will stop immediately. So this is the e-payment growth trajectory with regard to implemented customers. This you can see over the years. Gradually, the e-payment customers, they have chosen to opt the mode for e-payment, and number customers, the bank wise, how many customers are there, these are shown here, and these are the banks, as you can see. Now here you can see the growth of e-payment over the years with regard to freight collection. However, the only year in which it showed downward trend was 18-19. This is because when advanced freight collection scheme was introduced to customers like SAIL and Concor, NTPC and Concor, and the collection was not considered under e-payment when the advanced freight scheme collection was there. Now at this moment, right now when I'm talking to you, it has touched 84% on this day, but the figures have been shown here till March 20. That is why it is showing 77 here. So it is going upwards anyway. Now, ePAX, actually it is an application that works behind the curtain in e-payment system. It facilitates complete management of e-payment customers. And as you can see, it is here that making it paper application, complete automation payment. So let me take you through the feature of the same ePAX. So we used to get hard copies of letter by post or by courier regarding renewals, registrations, modifications, where modification in the customer details was required from the customer or zonal user. It has been made a complete paperless working through ePAX. So, yeah, and customer registration is there. These are the features. Paperless, of course, it is there in this application, and e-payment. Customer registration is there. Customer renewal and extension facilities is there, are there. Supporting documents upload. Zonal railway user can log in and upload the supporting documents like a tripartite agreement or forwarding letter or an Annexure 1C, wherein all the details of the customer are given. So he can scan and upload it. And an important thing, that dashboard is so that he can make day-to-day decision making after seeing the dashboard, all those things. These help them to take a decision and all. Implementation, of course, is faster because here it used to take many days to implement changes at every step. So basically, ePAX is a complete automation of paperwork that we used to do previously. So now here in this, you see how the steps, how the user, a new user can be registered. It is a process flow for that only. So the zonal user enters the Annexure 1C detail. When he opens the screen, he gets a form, in the format of Annexure 1C, which is a fixed format for any modification or entering details of a new customer. He enters all those fields, and along with supporting documents, he uploads it. And in the next step, the CO office endorses it and authorizes it. And then the details are sent to the respective bank out of those 7 banks which I have shown you earlier. Because bank configures the same there, and so transaction can go smoothly when the customer will get implemented. So then after that, confirmation, receiving the confirmation from bank through email, the CO office confirms that from zonal railway authorities using this ePAX only, and FOIS team implements the customer into e-payment system. And after that, the customer is ready for making transaction amount. So this is the screen customer registration, which I have told you in the previous slide. This is a screenshot same. Here the fills fills in the details of the new customer, and if the customer is a CTO, then user clicks the yes button. Here he will get the checkbox for various zones, for all the zones that exist in the
Hello, Sanjay.
Kapil,
Sir,
we have lost contact of Sanjay.
no, he is available in the panelist.
Why is not able to speak?
Okay. Let me talk to him. Sanjay sir, are you there?
Kapil Satya is talking to him on call, so let's see if he joins back.
Right, sir. In the meanwhile, I would request to all the attendees, if they have any clarification and any questions, they may please raise your hands through the options available in the webinar screen.
Sanjay.
So I hope I am audible now.
Sanjay, go ahead. Sanjay, go ahead.
Continue, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry, there was a disturbance in network. So I was telling that new customer registration. So he'll fill all the details here in the new registration form, and moreover, here the user fill the details of the new customer, and if the customer is a CTO, the user clicks the yes option. Here he will get the check boxes of various zone, and can click the boxes where the customer wherever the customer is authorized to operate. This facilitates the user for not filling the details repeatedly for different zones basically. So also, as we know, CTO is a container driven operator operating in different zones. So Northern Railway acts as a nodal railway which signs a single tripartite agreement on behalf of other zones. So this is in continuation of the previous thing. So here the user will select the bank and the correct details of the railway bank gets populated automatically. He doesn't have to fill it manually. Out of those 7 banks, he'll choose the bank accordingly. And here he will fill the debit bank account details of the customer as per the bank chosen. And moreover, after filling the validity dates, that is LCBG validity and e-payment effective from to validity dates, he can configure the this station from and station to, that is origin and destination where the customer wants to operate. So now after saving all these, after submitting the deals that I have shown you earlier, he will get this type of screen. Here he note down the customer number which gets generated automatically by the system. It is a sequential number by which the customer gets identified uniquely. So moreover, customer has the facility to upload the relevant documents. I had told you, shown you earlier that tripartite agreement is there, null letter is there, and annexure 1 is there. So if the user doesn't want to upload the document at that moment, he can upload more, go to the upload more supporting documents, and by putting in the number, he can upload later also those documents, scanning them, of course. So these are the CO office tasks. When a user fills in the details of renewal, I'm telling about this tab. When a zonal user fills in the details of renewal of a customer, the record is displayed here in this tab, and the CO office proceeds further with that record. The CO office then authorizes further for processing record after verifying. And in this tab, when the bank confirms the registration of a new customer, the record is displayed here for CEO to ask from the zone for the implementation date. And here in this tab, when a zone user fills in the details for registration of a new customer, the record is displayed here in this tab for the CEO office to proceed further. And in this tab, location addition and other modification are displayed here in this tab. So I must say that availability of e-payment facility. Let me take you to the next first. This is the renewal and extension process flow for a customer. This is more or less bit same to the process of new customer registration. So the same way, the entry of annexure, the details of the customer in annexure 1C format by the zonal railway office, then CO office endorse and authorizes, and then the respective details are sent to the bank for confirmation through automated mail, because we have automated it as the CO office confirms and authorizes the customer for a renewal. So the mail, the system automatically senses and sends the mail for bank for configuration, just to avoid the delay of time. And confirmation comes from the bank through email, and the same way FOIS team implements the customer into e-payment system. This screen shows the what type of modifications and renewals are available for the customer, for the user to carry out. That is, one is LCBG renewal and extension, the temporary extension, and LCBG amount modification enhancement, or whatever he want to decrease the amount or raise the amount, and e-payment validity extension, and debit account details can be modified, station add or close facilities for there. Deactivation can be done if that the customer is no more doesn't want to use this facility. So this is a screenshot of dashboard that users are logging into ePAX. So here we have shown that expiring soon customer. This is a customer summary which shows that these much of customers in a particular zones from wherever the user has logged in. This shows that these are the users which are going to expire soon, and these are the customer agreements basically which are going to expire soon, and user can contact with those customers and liaison with the customers so that renewal process can run on time. So certain filters are there, and the user can just filter these queries accordingly, and sending this order are there on every field. So these are this is the report which shows the complete total implement customers in e-payment, and the relevant detail related to a customer can be seen by clicking the details hyperlink over here against each row. So this is the customer bank wise report. This shows that implemented customer against each bank, and what are the pending customer at bank's end for which confirmation is yet to come, and pending customers which are there at CO Chris end, and these are the inactive customers. Here, as of now, till few days ago, 3-4 days ago, total number of customers that are implemented in eCard 1286. So last but not least, this screenshot shows that the latest record of the customer that is shown here, the details which the customer is presently implemented. This screen shows the latest related details of the customer. But however, we keep the previous records as well. Since the beginning, that is the customer has been implemented maybe number of days back or number of months back. So wherever the user can click here, these are the hyperlinks. This shows that 5 times earlier the customer records has been modified due to any reason, maybe renewal, maybe this LCBG modification or amount modification, station addition, deletion, whatever it is. So this one can see go through, and one can see accordingly. The user can see accordingly. So I must say that unavailability of e-payment facility would have taken a toll on trade collection during this lockdown period. So therefore, in this tough COVID time, e-payment has been proven to be a boon for customers as well as railways also. So thank you for listening to me, and now let us make it interactive by opening Q&A session. Thank you.
Kapil, thank you, Sanjay. Kapil,
Yes, sir.
start asking the question. Unmute karke.
Right, sir. The first question we are going to ask from Mr. Shrikant.
Sir,
Mr. Shrikant.
mute. Hello.
We are hearing you.
Sir, I'm calling from Trivandrum. This is regarding this payment only. Last month we had the Food Corporation of India. They are an e-payment customer. Sir, am I audible?
You are audible, Shrikant.
Yes, sir. So actually they used to frequently book previously, sir, by way of rebooking, and this e-payment was in force. So we had no issues with the e-payment. After a period of time, they rebooked a rate last year. The e-payment failed. E-payment did not take place, and we were having a lot of bank holidays. the customer agreed to pay through demand draft and the demand draft. But since the RR number was automatically generated, we could not change the payment mode. To rechange it. Once the payment fails, we want it to be rechanged to a manual mode, money receipt. One more second thing. The Railway Board has issued a circular saying that for payment of demurrage charges, the payment can be available of NEFT and RTGS and all. So some of our customers are willing to pay the demurrage through e-payment. So we want that facility.
Satya.
Sir.
इनका आंसर कपिल
Yes, sir.
एक मिस्टर ओम प्रकाश दुबे को आपने और अनम्यूट करने से आवाज आ
Okay, Mr. Srikanth, the first question is, when you fired the e-payment transaction, when you fire the payment transaction for e-payment, the RR number is automatically generated, but the transaction was not cleared from the bank and party was willing to give it through draft, and you are not able to change the payment mode in the system, right? This is the first question.
Yes, sir.
Right. As per Railway Board's instruction, it says that the party has given Railway some BG or LC, right?
Yes, sir.
Amount is there in case of any exigency, be it a network error, be it insufficient fund. Railways would not wait for the actual freight to come. Railway could prepare the RR, hand it over, and accordingly, the system has been designed where the RR number is generated and the system automatically fires for collection from the bank. So this is the normal system as per the instruction. Once the RR number is generated, system cannot allow to generate one more RR or collect or change payment mode and collect, because this transaction is already initiated and booked against the LCBG of that particular customer. That's why system doesn't allow you. But yes, once the LCBG amount is crossed in the pending list, then system will not generate the RR number and it will allow to process for the change payment mode person, right? Second, there is an option if the customer is willing to give on DD, then Sanjay has already shown you there is an option in the administration task for the journal user to suspend this particular RR and change the payment mode to get this collection against DD payment and all. So that part, Sanjay, just go to that screen from your.
Yes.
Yeah. Please move back.
So it is with the zonal admin role only. This is the screen.
Next page.
From here you will get a suspended ERR, and this is the screen where you will fill the details about for suspending the said ERR, for which you want to make the collection manually through money receipt or DD, whatever it is. So here you will fill the authority number, date. The moment you will fill in these details and you will press F2, that is saved. So the next attempt will not go to the bank. So it will stop there, and then the current e-payment transaction will not go to the bank for collection of rate amount. So that the customer, because has already paid the money through money receipt, double debit should not happen. That is.
Okay,
Thanks, sir.
Right. And the second, the second question was regarding. Can you just? Okay, damn.
Because many of the customers want to pay through NEFT through RTGS. So we are not allowing that because board has
okay.
But they are willing for e-payment, and board has issued a circular.
Yeah. That this particular e-payment agreement as well as the e-payment instructions are specifically for freight charges. That's why we don't allow damage and warfare charges to be collected from this particular e-payment system. But yes, right now we are working on different modules where the customer can pay the damage and warfare charges through online transactions, through his net banking, through debit and credit card. We are working on it. So once it is done, then it will be made available to the customers. So yes, we are
Thank you,
working
sir.
on the same. Right. Next
Thank you
question,
so
please.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Next.
Yes, the next question we are going to ask from Mr. Sudhir Mate. Mr. Sudhir Mate, are you listening?
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
सर ई पेमेंट सिस्टम हमारे यहाँ डिवीजन में करीबन 84 to 90% सीट आउट होता है। मैक्सिमम कस्टमर्स हम लोगों ने कवर कर लिए हैं, बट इसमें सर एक दिक्कत ये है कि जो छोटे कस्टमर है, जैसे 1 रेक से 10 रेक तक जो साल में लोड करते हैं, उनको हम लोग कन्वर्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, बिकॉज वो लोग रेडी नहीं है सर, वो बीजी वगैरह वो प्रोसेस में जाने के लिए। वो कहते हैं कि उनका पैसा वहाँ ब्लॉक हो जाता है। हम लोग बहुत कोशिश करते हैं 100% अचीवमेंट करने के लिए, बट वी फेल टू डू। तो इसके लिए सर कुछ प्रोविजन कीजिए ताकि सारे कस्टमर आ जाए। जैसे कोविड वगैरह के सिचुएशन में कई सारे लोगों के हमने डीडी जो है हमने में कलेक्ट किए और बाद में हमने उनको फॉरवर्ड किए, जैसे सिचुएशन बना हुआ है। यदि 100% कस्टमर हो जाते थे ई पेमेंट में, तो हम लोगों को और कस्टमर को भी काफी फैसिलिटी मिल जाती थी। दैट्स जस्ट सजेशन फॉर
जी, जैसे मैंने आपको कहा कि अभी मैं क्वेश्चन का आंसर कर रहा था जिसमें डैमरेज की हम बात कर रहे थे कि हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं ऑनलाइन पेमेंट के लिए। हम एक्चुअली जिस मॉडल पे काम कर रहे हैं उसमें हम सारे चार्जेस जो रिमेनिंग हमारे, जैसे संजय ने कहा कि अराउंड 84% फ्रेट हम ई पेमेंट के थ्रू कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, जो रिमेनिंग 16% है, प्लस ऑल अदर कलेक्शंस इंक्लूडिंग योर डैमेज, वाफेज और लोकल चार्जेस की भी जितनी कलेक्शन होगी वो सारा हम ऑनलाइन फैसिलिटी पे देने के लिए हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। जैसे ही वो तैयार हो जाएगा तो हम कस्टमर को अवेल करा देंगे। थैंक यू।
राइट, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
या कपिल, नेक्स्ट।
Yeah, the next question we are going to ask from Mr. Hargovind Singh. Hargovind जी, हरगोविंद जी आप सुन पा रहे हैं?
जी सर, हाँ बोलिए सर।
प्लीज आपके पास अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है प्लीज आस्क, प्लीज पूछिए आप।
जी सर। हाँ सर,
बोलिए बोलिए।
क्या सर कौन सा क्वेश्चन सर?
कुछ अगर आप कुछ क्वेश्चन या कुछ क्लैरिफिकेशन आप पूछना चाहते हैं, बिकॉज यू रेज योर हैंड, सो क्वेश्चन यू कैन आस्क।
मिनट लग जाता है। जी सर।
कपिल, नेक्स्ट।
हाँ जी सर।
मिस्टर मुकुंद कुमार
सर, मैं रायपुर डिवीजन से बोल रहा हूँ।
बोलिए प्लीज
सर,
बोलिए।
फूड ग्रेन्स के आरआर बनाने के दौरान जीएसटी कलेक्शन नहीं होता है एज पर रूल, बट व्हेन आई कलेक्ट साइडिंग चार्ज, जीएसटी चार्ज also not be collected. So please improve the facility.
साइडिंग चार्ज आप किस पे कहाँ पे कलेक्ट करते हैं? आरआर पे एक्रू कर रहे हैं या अलग से लोकल चार्जेस पे कर रहे हैं आप?
सर, फूड ग्रेन्स का तो उसमें जीएसटी कलेक्शन नहीं होता है, जो रूल है। बट साइडिंग चार्ज लेते हैं तो वहां भी जीएसटी कलेक्शन नहीं होता है। तो उसको
इसलिए क्योंकि आप कोई भी चार्ज जब आरआर पे एक्रू करेंगे तो वो चार्ज पार्ट ऑफ फ्रेट बन जाता है, और फूड ग्रेन की सिनारियो में फ्रेट का जो फ्रेट के ऊपर जीएसटी एप्लीकेबल नहीं है। इसी वजह से सिस्टम
उसी में प्यूनिटिव चार्ज जब कलेक्शन होता है तो जीएसटी चार्ज का कलेक्शन होता है, तो
इसीलिए साइडिंग चार्ज के बेसिस पे भी आप कह रहे हैं, ठीक है, हम इसको देख लेंगे और वैसे ही जो चेंजेस करना होगा वो करके हम हमने नोट कर लीजिए, इस पे हम काम करेंगे। थैंक यू
जी, ओके सर।
कपिल नेक्स्ट। कपिल नेक्स्ट।
Mr. Manjunath, yeah, please ask your question.
Mr. Manjunath, you are not audible.
Hello.
No.
Kapil,
I think we should take the next.
next है।
Mr. Bajinath Besra ji, please ask your question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
डॉक कॉम्प्लेक्स से बोल रहा हूँ। So we are working as terminal agent of Southeastern Railway under Kharagpur division. Here, last year in means 2019-20, we have collected freight around 1309.83 crores. उसमें से सर around 75% e-payment मोड में और बाकी around 395 crores एकदम DD मोड में। तो हम लोग एकदम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि बाकी 400 crores के आसपास एकदम जो DD पार्टी है उसको भी e-payment में लिया जाए, लेकिन उसमें एक दिक्कत है, पार्टी आर नॉट गोइंग फॉर e-payment just because of that BG and credit note part। तो उसके लिए सर थोड़ा एक मेरा सजेशन है कि ऐसा कोई सिस्टम डेवलपमेंट किया जाए जैसे ड्यूरिंग रजिस्टरिंग डिमांड तो उनका कोई एकदम नॉमिनेटेड बैंक अकाउंट से एकदम पैसा ब्लॉक कर रखे, तो ड्यूरिंग प्रोसेस ऑफ आरआर जैसे पेट रेडी हो जाता है तो डिडक्ट होने के बाद एक्सेस पैसा फिर ऑटोमेटिकली बैंक में ही चला जाए, ऐसा कुछ करने से शायद मैंने हम लोग 100% ई पेमेंट करवा पाएंगे।
जैसे मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले कहा सर कि हम ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं, जो बाकी कस्टमर्स हैं जो LC-BG और ई-पेमेंट के थ्रू नहीं जाना चाहते हैं बट ऑनलाइन पेमेंट करना चाहते हैं, तो वी आर बेसिकली वर्किंग ऑन द सेम। जैसे ही वो मॉड्यूल तैयार हो जाएगा हम कस्टमर को अवेलेबल करा देंगे।
थैंक यू सर।
नेक्स्ट।
The next question is from Mr. Hitesh Thakur, and he is asking about if there is any provision to change consignor after preparation of RR, and same for the e-payment.
There is no provision to change consignor or consignee after the generation of the RR. Because the consignor and consignee are being captured at the initial stage at the time of Indian registration. So we have given provision before generation of RR to change the consignor or consignee. After generation of RR, there is no provision available in the system, and that cannot be provided also. Thank you.
Next question is from Mr. Swapnil Saraya. Mr. Swapnil Saraya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please ask your question.
नमस्ते सर, मेरा नाम स्वप्निल शर्मा है और मैं नागपुर डिवीजन से बात कर रहा हूँ। एक्चुअली बेसिकली मैं एक इनवर्ड लोकेशन में बैठा हूँ जहाँ पे सिर्फ पोल आता है। यहाँ मेरे पास कोई आउटवर्ड नहीं, सिर्फ इनवर्ड ही है, रेक आते हैं, पोल आता है सिर्फ। और यहाँ पे पार्टी जो है वो चाहती कि ई पेमेंट करे, लेकिन हमारे पास ऐसा कोई प्रोविजन नहीं फिलहाल कि हम उनके पास से कोई ई पेमेंट करें। बीच में एक आरटीजीएस पेमेंट उन्होंने पार्टी ने किया था, लेकिन वो आरटीजीएस पेमेंट करने के बाद बहुत सारे इश्यूज आए। तकरीबन 6-7 महीने के बाद में वो क्लियर हो पाया, क्योंकि उनका पेमेंट कैसे हुआ, क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई प्रूफ नहीं था। ऑडिटर हमें बार बार पूछ रहे थे कि आपके पास प्रूफ नहीं है, हम कैसे मान लें कि आपके पास पेमेंट आया है करके। तो फाइनेंस के जो सॉरी डीएफएम थे उनके पास से कंसल्ट करते करते फिर वो कम से कम 6 से 7 महीने बाद हमें वो क्लियरेंस मिला। तब तक के हमें वो पेमेंट जो था वो डेबिट में सॉरी एडमिटेड डेबिट में डालना पड़ा। तो ये प्रॉब्लम थी। दूसरे एक था सर कि हाँ, हमारा टीएमएस ने जो ई पेमेंट अगर हम डालते भी है तो यहाँ पे वेबल जो होता है, सेमिशन ऑर्डर जो मिलता है, फर्स्ट हमारा जो एप्लीकेशन आने के बाद फिर पार्टी पेमेंट करती है, फर्स्ट पेमेंट नहीं करती है। वे एप्लीकेशन आने के बाद फिर पेमेंट करती है, फिर वेबल होते जाते हैं, होते जाता है। आखिरी में जो अमाउंट आता है फिर उसके बाद में फिर वो पार्टी क्या करती है, जितना भी क्रेडिट होता है वापस हमें दे देती है कि आप अगला जो भी बिल होगा उसमें से उतना अमाउंट काट दीजिए। तो ये सारे कॉम्प्लेक्स चीजें हैं सर, तो आप क्या मुझे थोड़ा सिंपल करके बता सकेंगे?
ओके, पहला तो आपका इनवर्ट लोकेशन है, तो मेरे हिसाब से आप डैमरेज एंड वापस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कलेक्शन की ही बात कर रहे हैं, या फिर आप अगर डिलीवरी बुक के कुछ चार्जेस हैं उसकी कलेक्शन की बात कर रहे हैं। तो जैसे मैंने कहा कि ई पेमेंट अभी ओनली डैमरेज, ओके। जैसे जैसे मैंने कहा कि ई पेमेंट जो है अभी मॉडल वो ओनली फ्रेट चार्जेस के लिए है और आउटवर्ड लोकेशंस का है, तो इसके लिए अभी नहीं है। बट हाँ, जैसे मैंने अभी भी कहा कि हम लोग एक मॉड्यूल पे काम कर रहे हैं जिसमें कि हम ऑनलाइन कलेक्शंस फॉर ऑल टाइप ऑफ चार्जेस इंक्लूडिंग योर फ्रेट, डैमरेज, वापस, लोकल, सन्ड्री, एवरीथिंग, उसकी कलेक्शन के ऊपर हम काम कर रहे हैं। जैसे ही वो मॉडल तैयार हो जाएगा हम वो कस्टमर के पास अवेलेबल करा देंगे। और जहां तक आपका सेकंड सवाल था जिसमें आपने कहा कि वो पेमेंट करता है और पेमेंट के बाद जो रिफंड होता है वो सारे नोट्स और नेक्स्ट रेक के लोडिंग के टाइम पे आपको दे देता है। तो जब ऑनलाइन कलेक्शन आ जाएगा तो मेरा बस यही मानना है, और ऐसा ही कुछ सिस्टम बनेगा, जब ऑनलाइन कलेक्शन आ जाएगा तो फिर ये पेपर वर्क पर नहीं चलेगा। तो जिस अकाउंट से उसने पैसा दिया था, जो अगर उसको रिफंड करना होगा तो उसी अकाउंट में चला जाएगा और नेक्स्ट चेक पे फिर से उसको उसी अकाउंट से पेमेंट करना होगा। ऐसे ही कुछ प्रोसेस बनेगा, क्योंकि प्रोसेस अभी तक पूरी तरह से फाइनलाइज होके रेलवे बोर्ड से अप्रूव नहीं हुआ है, तो इसलिए मैं उसके ऊपर कमेंट नहीं कर सकता हूँ। बट मुझे लगता है, जहां तक मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, ऐसा ही कुछ प्रोसेस बनेगा। तो जब बनेगा उसी हिसाब सिस्टम डेवलप होगा और उसी हिसाब से हम आपको मॉड्यूल प्रोवाइड करेंगे और आपको उसी हिसाब से करना होगा उसको रिपोर्टिंग।
ओके, थैंक यू।
ओके, थैंक यू।
Any more question, Kapil?
Yes, yes, we have more questions, sir.
बताओ।
Mr. Munuk Das.
हाँ सर, गुड मॉर्निंग, बिलासपुर से एनके दास बोल रहा हूँ।
Yes, please.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर। सर, ये सुपर सेशनल आरआर जब बनाते हैं सर, ओरिजिनल आरआर जब बनाते हैं तब तो फ्रेट दिख जाता है, ये पेमेंट एडवाइस में निकल जाता है एक्चुअल फ्रेट। सुपर सेशनल आरआर जब बनाते हैं तो क्या होता है, डिफरेंस ऑफ फ्रेट लेता है, पता कैसे चलता है, जो ई पेमेंट एडवाइस। इसका पहले भी सर सजेशन दिए थे, आरआर में रिफ्लेक्ट होना चाहिए कि डिफरेंस अमाउंट कितना कटा है सुपर सेशनल आरआर। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि अपन को पता भी चल जाता है, प्लस क्लेम में भी इजी हो जाता है कि इसका डिफरेंस लिया गया कि नहीं लिया। तो सुपर सेशनल आरआर में फ्रेट अमाउंट आता है, लेकिन कितना मतलब कंज्यूमर के अकाउंट से डेबिट हुआ है वो नहीं आता आरआर।
ओके दास जी, आज इतना ही कि और भी है?
हाँ, और एक चीज है, आरआर में भी पेड बाय कंसाइनर कंसाइनी आना चाहिए, मतलब कौन पेमेंट कौन कर रहा है, वेदर कंसाइनर और कंसाइनर।
ओके, ओके दास जी, पहला सवाल जो है आपका कि आरआर पे डिफरेंस ऑफ अमाउंट आना चाहिए। नॉर्मली जो आपके आरआर पे दिखता है वो फ्रेट डिटेल्स दिखता है, और कलेक्शन का डिटेल्स अगर आप देखेंगे तो उसमें कितना अमाउंट कलेक्ट हुआ है वो दिखता है।
नहीं, वो तो ई पेमेंट एडवाइस में दिखता ही है, लेकिन 6 महीने के बाद हम अगर सुपर सेशनल आरआर देखेंगे तो हमको पता लगना चाहिए ना कि पार्टी के अकाउंट से कितना डेबिट हुआ है।
आपका जो ई पेमेंट का जो डिटेल्स आता है उसमें ट्रांजैक्शन के डिटेल्स आता है, उसमें अमाउंट नहीं दिखता है, आप बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ, जो नहीं एडवाइस में दिखता है।
नहीं एडवाइस नहीं, आरआर में जो पेमेंट डिस्क्रिप्शन करके जो कॉलम है जिसमें हम लिखते हैं कि ट्रांजैक्शन आईडी वगैरह वो है,
उसमें नहीं आता। उसमें क्रेडिटेड टू एफएनसीओ ट्रांजैक्शन आईडी रेफरेंस आईडी आता है, लेकिन कितना डिफरेंस अमाउंट का, मतलब ओरिजिनल आरआर से आरआर से डिफरेंस अमाउंट जो है वो नहीं आता।
ओके, उसमें अगर उससे ट्रांजैक्शन आईडी डेट एंड डिटेल्स के साथ अगर हम अमाउंट दे देंगे तो मेरे हिसाब से आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा।
सर हाँ, क्लियर हो जाएगा। ट्रांजैक्शन आईडी सर, हम मतलब ट्रांजैक्शन आईडी जरूरत नहीं है मेनली, हमको पैसा चाहिए कि कितना डेबिट हुआ, ताकि हम उसको बोल पाए कि 6 महीने के बाद 1 साल के बाद जब क्लेम आता है तो हाँ डेबिट हुआ था कि नहीं हुआ।
ठीक है, तो वो वहाँ पे हम पेमेंट डिटेल्स के साथ हम उसमें अमाउंट पेमेंट जो हुआ है वो हम ऐड कर देंगे, उसी से आपको क्लैरिटी आ जाएगा।
जी सर, ये बहुत दिन से मैंने दिया हूँ सर, अभी तक नहीं हुआ।
ठीक है, अगर हम हमें कह दें अगर अभी तक नहीं हुआ है, बट हाँ हम उसको ऐड कर देंगे। दूसरा आपका पॉइंट था पेड बाय कंसाइनर और कंसाइनर
होना चाहिए कि पेड बाय कंसाइनर है कि कंसाइनर, कौन पेमेंट कर।
नहीं बिल्कुल आप सही कह रहे हैं दास जी। एक्चुअली क्या है ना, आरआर जो है वो हमारा प्री प्रिंटेड स्टेशनरी है, जिसमें प्रिंटिंग जो होता है उसमें बहुत लिमिटेड स्पेस है जिसमें होता है, और रेलवे बोर्ड के हर एक अलग अलग स्कीम और उसके डिटेल्स प्रिंट करते करते उसमें बहुत सारे जगह नहीं बचता बहुत सारी चीजों को प्रिंट करने के लिए। बट अगर आप देखेंगे आरआर पे तो आप मेकआउट कर सकते हैं कि किसने पे किया है। थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा लेकिन आप चेकआउट कर सकते हैं। आरआर पे हम लोग जीएसटी के मोमेंट पे हम उसमें लिखते हैं कि टैक्स इनवॉइस किसके नाम पे जनरेट हुआ है।
वो तो सर
टैक्स इनवॉइस जिसके नाम पे जनरेट हुआ है पेमेंट उसी ने किया हुआ है।
नहीं वो सर वो टैक्स इनवॉइस मान लो कहीं मतलब टैक्स इनवॉइस बाद में देखेंगे, लेकिन आरआर में हमको ऐसे ध्यान चाहिए कि हाँ कंसाइनर पेमेंट क्या है कि कंसाइनी पेमेंट है।
सर वो प्री प्रिंटेड स्टेशनरी में कोई स्पेस डिफाइन नहीं है जहाँ पे प्रिंट करना है, अगर होता है तो हम कर देते हैं।
हाँ ठीक है, अगर कुछ हटा के अगर कुछ रिमार्क हटा के अगर कर देते हैं तो बेटर रहेगा।
मैं वही कहा कि क्योंकि रिमार्क का स्पेस जो है वो लिमिटेड है और उसमें इतना सारा रिमार्क का डिटेल्स प्रिंट होता है, बट हाँ हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे अगर हमें कोई स्पेस मिलता है तो हम उसमें जरूर प्रिंट करेंगे।
सर सेकंड वाला भले मत करिए सर, पहला वाला थोड़ा जल्दी कर दीजिए क्योंकि हमको पता नहीं चलता है कि कितना डिफरेंस अमाउंट डेबिट हुआ है।
ठीक है दास जी। ओके थैंक यू। Kapil next.
Next question is from Mr. Arvind. Mr. Arvind. Mr. Arvind, you can ask your question. Please ask your question if you have any questions.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Myself Arvind from Ugar, Hubli division, sir. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
हाँ सर, हमारे यहाँ से शुगर लोडिंग होता है मिनी रेक में, जब इसका मोर देन 20 वैगन सा लेस देन 42 रहा तो उसको 7 आवर्स का टाइम है। वो मिनी रेक में भी 21-22 वैगन का रहा तो वो 5 आवर्स ही फ्री टाइम दिखता सर। वो बाद में फिर उसका डीसी चार्ज होता है सर, फिर मैं ऑनलाइन बैलेंस शीट में वो प्रॉब्लम आता है सर।
ओके, मिनी रेक में शायद जो फ्री टाइम है वो 5 आवर्स का ही है।
हाँ सर, अप टू 20 वैगन सर, फॉर कवर्ड वैगन सर।
नहीं, मिनी रैक अप टू 20 वैगन्स इज उसका मिनिमम जो कॉम्बिनेशन है, कंपोजिशन है, वो 20 वैगन्स है, बट
Yes, sir.
29 वैगन्स का भी आप मिनी रैक बना सकते हैं ना।
अच्छा, तो उसमें सर वो हमको फ्री टाइम सर फिर 7 आवर्स हो जाता है सर उसमें, मोर देन अभी फ्री टाइम।
ओके, आप इसका स्पेसिफिक केस के डिटेल्स के साथ एक बार आप ओसीसी को मैसेज कर दीजिए, तो क्योंकि टीम में हमारा एक्चुअली, क्योंकि ये पेमेंट के बारे में है, तो हमारे पास जो डेमरेक के जो एक्सपर्ट हैं वो अभी इसमें नहीं है, अदरवाइज वो रिप्लाई दे देते। बट आप उसका डिटेल्स के साथ एक बार ओसीसी को मैसेज कर दीजिए, हम उसको चेक करके आपको रिप्लाई कर देंगे डिटेल।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
अगर कुछ चेंज करना होगा सिस्टम में तो हम अप्रूवल लेके वो चेंज कर देंगे सिस्टम में। थैंक यू।
ओके सर।
कपिल नेक्स्ट।
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन मिस्टर एल के उपाध्याय।
हाँ, गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
यस यस, प्लीज आस्क।
गुड आफ्टरनून
सर, ये जो दास जी का भी बिलासपुर से जो एक कॉल आया था, मैंने उसको भी पूछा था, उस क्वेश्चन पर मेरा भी कुछ क्वायरी है सर। एक तो सर वो जो उन्होंने बताया कि डिफरेंशियल फ्रेट शो नहीं कर रहा, वो सही था। सेकेंड इशू है सर, फ्रेट डिटेल्स में हम लोग को सर कुछ एशआरआर को और रीबुक आरआर को डिफरेंशिएट करने का कुछ ये दिखा जाए सर, वो हम लोग सर डिफरेंशिएट कर नहीं पा रहे हैं, जिससे हमारा मंथली फिगर या कुछ भी फिगर सर हम लोग में प्रॉब्लम आ रही है। फिर उसके लिए हमको सिर्फ मैनुअली सर उसको कैलकुलेट करना पड़ता है, वैगन माइनस करना पड़ रहा है। तो अगर फ्रेट डिटेल सिस्टम में अगर सर हमको वो डाइवर्शन रेक्स एंड रिबुक्स रेक्स हम लोग को सुविधा होगा।
ओके उपाध्याय जी, आप लोग को वो कोई फिल्टर या कोई आइडेंटिफिकेशन फ्रेट डिटेल्स में फॉर डाइवर्जन एंड फॉर सुपर सेशनल अगर आप चाहते हैं तो हम प्रोवाइड कर देंगे उसमें फ्रेट डिटेल्स क्वेरी में।
उपाध्याय, सत्या एक मिनट ऐड करूं? सत्या, मुझे कहना है कि जो हमारा डायनेमिक वेब है और टीएमएस पे भी सुपर सेशनल आरआर की लिस्ट आती है, सो व्हाई कांट दे चेक ऑन दैट?
सर बेसिकली क्या है कि फ्रेट डिटेल्स क्वेरी जो है उसमें सारे आरआर की लिस्टिंग होती है। अब सारे आरआर की जब लिस्टिंग निकालते हैं उसमें से वो आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए इंडिविजुअल आरआर को देखते हैं, ताकि उसमें से रिबुक्ड आरआर या सुपर सेशनल आरआर को
ओके, तो वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड अ फिल्टर ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Kapil, next.
Next question is from Mr. A. Abdul Kalam.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes, good. Please ask.
From division of Vice Controller, sir.
Yes.
My question is, when e-payment is delayed, are created without ID, sir? Whenever e-payment is delayed, RR is generated without transaction ID. When such RRs, is there any provision to confirm the collection of payment charges at destination?
Okay. See, whenever
RR is generated without transaction ID and the rate reaches a destination, the destination staff, they are unable to confirm whether payment is collected or not.
Okay, we'll give some provision or we will add some information in the destination delivery book screen regarding the clearance of the freight details and the original thing. We'll do it. Okay. We'll do it in the next version.
Okay, sir. The provision may be like that. If you feed FNR, the details regarding collection of payment should be displayed like that.
Yes,
the provision
either we can give him a different provision or we can add it in the delivery book screen itself, saying
okay,
that whether the freight is outstanding or it is being cleared. So
okay,
that
sir.
Thank you. We'll do it. We'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah.
Next question is from Mr. Gaurav Saxena. He is asking about is there any feature like mixed commodity में इंडेंट ई डिमांड नहीं लग पाता है other than FFs?
मैंने लास्ट टाइम जब हमने ई डिमांड ईटीआरआर का किया था उसमें भी ये बताया था, एक्चुअली मिक्स्ड कमोडिटी में ई डिमांड परमिसिबल नहीं है, बट हाँ अगर हम अलग अलग कमोडिटी का पीसमिल इंडेंट पीसमिल ई डिमांड अगर हम रजिस्टर करें या कोई कस्टमर रजिस्टर करे तो हम फॉइस में डिविजनल अथॉरिटी के थ्रू हम उस दोनों अलग अलग पीसमिल इंडेंट्स को क्लब करके ट्रेन लोड बेनिफिट दे सकते हैं।
Right, sir. Okay. Next is from Mr. Sridhar Bhatt. Whether forwarding note can be submitted through e-system.
तो ये क्वेश्चन थोड़ा क्लियर नहीं है क्योंकि हमारा ई डिमांड सिस्टम जो है उसमें ही ई इंटेंट वगैरह सब सारी चीजें ऑनलाइन ही हो रहा है। वो फॉरवर्डिंग नोट सबमिशन ये एज पर रेलवे बोर्ड रूल एट द टाइम ऑफ लोडिंग द कस्टमर हैज टू फिजिकली सबमिट द confirmation slip along with the manual forwarding note। अगर ये उसकी बात कर रहे हैं then railway board needs to change the rule, then only we can implement the same।
Okay, sir. I think we have the questions which has been asked by all the attendees.
Chalo Kapil, we can summarize now. Satya, we can summarize now. I thank you all the participants. I thank all the participants and एक बात मुझे कहनी थी कि e-payment module is purely for payment of the freight charges, and this is a process where there is a tri-party agreement between bank, railway, and the consignor or the consignee. Yes, people are demanding lot of changes. People are demanding payment of even ancillary charges through electronic mode, and we are also willing to do it, but we need a change in our developing our own platform, B, the clearance from railway board regarding that, which will take time but will come in the near future. So till that time we have to go ahead with this e-payment system for freight payment and other and the earlier mode or the older mode like draft, cash for ancillary charges. So we have to wait for some more time and that will come. Thank you. I thank all the participants. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Satya and your team.
सर एक चीज मेंशन कर दो सर।
हाँ बोलो।
सर बिकॉज ये फोरम है ऑल ओवर इंडिया से, तो एक्चुअली एक चीज आप मेंशन कर दें कि जब भी कोई ट्रांजैक्शन फेल होती है तो वो उसके बाद जो ERR जनरेट होती है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ LCBG। तो लेकिन अगर कस्टमर किसी और पेमेंट मोड से पेमेंट करता है तो वो उसको जो है रेलवे जोनल रेलवे वाले ले तो लेते हैं अमाउंट चेक और DD से, लेकिन उसको सस्पेंड नहीं करते। उसका एक एग्जांपल अभी लाइव एग्जांपल है, साउथ सेंट्रल में अभी भी 3 ट्रांजैक्शन चल रही हैं जो रेगुलर 3 आवर उसको जा रही हैं बैंक को फॉर कलेक्शन, बट मुझे फोन पे ये मेरी बात हुई है तो वो ऑलरेडी कलेक्शन हो चुका है सिंस May एंड टुडे इट इज अगस्त, तो वो उन्होंने सस्पेंड नहीं किया है अभी तक, जबकि मैनुअली कलेक्शन उनका हो चुका है। तो इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट कि अभी वो हमारा जो हमने दिखाया उसको यूज करें और सस्पेंड कर दें।
मैं भी सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को यही बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि वंस यू आर चेंजिंग द पेमेंट मोड, यू प्लीज गो टू द जोनल रेलवे administrative login screen, cancel the e-payment request because the system is firing the payment requisition after every 15 minutes. तो ऐसा ना हो कि पार्टी का डबल पेमेंट हो जाए and the refund will be very arduous and very difficult process. A, B, अगर आपने कोई पेमेंट फायर किया है और उसके बाद फायर करने के बाद अगर आप उसमें अमाउंट चेंज करते हैं तो बैंक एक्चुअली रिजेक्ट्स दैट ट्रांजैक्शन बिकॉज दे कंसिडर दिस टाइप ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन एज फ्रॉड ट्रांजैक्शन वेयर यू change the cash, the amount to be credited to the bank. So please be careful in doing these two activities because huge money is to be collected. There has to be checks and balances to stop the fraudulent payments. तो इसके लिए आप थोड़ा सा यूजर्स को ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि द मोमेंट पेमेंट फेल्स, अपने जोनल हेडक्वार्टर के एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्क्रीन से उसको कैंसिल कराकर दूसरे मोड से पेमेंट लेकर आरआर जनरेट करें. In case they have already fired a transaction and after firing the transaction suddenly they change the amount to be transacted on that transaction ID, bank will not accept it. So be careful in doing that, please. Sanjay, anything else? Sanjay, anything else?
Nothing, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satya, and your team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you all the participants.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Kapil. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kapil, end the session.
Sir, you can.
Okay.